Hi everyone, and welcome to the Infinity Effects YouTube tutorial page. Today we're walking you through our DIY Infinity Spray Granite water-based countertop system, specifically designed for light traffic environments and for those looking for an easy-to-install, user-friendly solution. This is our DIY grade system, ideal for residential or lower-use surfaces. If you're looking for something more robust, suitable for high-demand or commercial environments, be sure to check out our professional-grade, resin-based system. At Infinity Effects, we also offer hands-on training courses through our network of certified academies, giving you the skills and confidence to apply our systems to a professional standard. For more information, please contact Infinity Effects directly. Please note, this tutorial is intended as a guide only and should not be considered a substitute for official certified training through an approved Infinity Effects training outlet. So with that said, let's get started. First step before installing the system is proper substrate preparation. Here, you can see our instructor, Ryan, preparing a vinyl countertop using an electric orbital sander fitted with 80 grit sandpaper. The objective here is to create a strong, consistent mechanical key across the entire surface. Make sure to sand thoroughly and evenly, paying close attention to edges and the front lip, as these are common failure points if not prepared correctly. Quick note, in real-world countertop installations, you'll often come across T or V metal joints at bends. These should be removed, the area reinforced from underneath, and then filled using a suitable compound, such as Polyfuse Max by Infinity, or an equivalent car body filler or fast-drying 2-pack filler, before continuing with sanding. This step is critical. It ensures proper adhesion of the system that will be applied next. Let's move on. Here, you can see our instructor walking you through the tools and equipment that will be used to apply this system correctly. In this demonstration, he'll be applying the system using two different methods, spraying one half of the countertop and rolling the other. Now that your countertop is correctly sanded, the next step is cleaning the surface. You want to wipe down the surface using a dry cloth, then check to ensure it is relatively dust-free. Once that's complete, use a degreasing product to remove any remaining residue. Here, you can see our instructor using Fusion Adhesion Promoter and Degreaser by Infinity. This product not only degreases the surface, but also acts as an adhesion promoter for the system. While this step is optional, it is strongly recommended for best results. Only a small amount is needed. It can be poured directly onto the surface or applied using a spray bottle, then wiped evenly across the area. Once complete, you're ready for the next stage. Here, you'll see our instructor getting ready to mix Spectra Prime. This is an optional step, but it's recommended where there is any risk of staining or contamination coming through from the substrate. As shown, both Part A and Part B are strained through a 190 micron sieve to remove any dust or debris before mixing. Spectra Prime is used in this application as a high-build stain-blocking primer, helping to create a consistent base and prevent any bleed-through affecting the final finish. If you have any concerns about the condition of the surface beneath, this step is a smart precaution before moving forward. Our instructor now shows you how to spray Spectra Prime using a 3M performance spray gun. First, a 1.4mm tip is installed onto the unit using the quick-release clips, followed by fitting the PPS liner and cup system. Once set up, the product is ready to be sprayed. Please note, we recommend spraying at 2 to 2.5 bar for optimal atomization and finish. Our instructor is now ready to spray and begins by putting on an 8-2P3 filtered mask. A quick safety note. When spraying any coating, even water-based products, it's important to ensure proper airflow and ventilation. As shown, the instructor is working within a spray booth with optimized airflow, which is the ideal setup. When installing in a residential environment, make sure to correctly mask up all surrounding areas, including surfaces, edges, and doorways, to prevent overspray and contamination. Taking the time to set up properly will ensure a cleaner finish and a safer working environment. Before spraying, our instructor checks the nozzle with a gloved hand to ensure it's free from any dirt or contamination. He then begins spraying, working left to right in smooth, controlled passes, making sure to overlap each pass and apply a solid, consistent coat across the surface. Once complete, he checks the finish and gives it a quick thumbs up. He then shows the other side of the countertop, where the product has been rolled on instead of sprayed, allowing you to compare both finishes side by side. This system can be applied by spray or roller, and the method you choose will depend on the installer's experience, equipment, and preference. Now that your Spectra Prime coat is applied, you'll need to allow it to dry fully before continuing. Drying times can vary, but typically take up to 1 hour or more, depending on temperature and airflow. To speed up the process, you'll see our instructor using an infrared light, which can reduce the cure time to around 20 minutes. Always ensure the surface is fully dry to the touch before moving on to the next step. The next step is applying your base coat, which in this system is ArmorGuard. Following the same process as before, the instructor first strains both Part A and Part B separately through a 190 micron sieve. This helps remove any dust or contamination before mixing. Once strained, the components are then mixed together correctly. For spraying, ArmorGuard can be diluted by up to 10% using deionized or clean water if required. However, it's important that any water is added to Part A only and mixed thoroughly before Part B is introduced. For more detailed guidance on mixing and spraying, refer to the professional system tutorial video. Our instructor now repeats the same setup process as before, attaching the spray gun and tip and ensuring everything is fitted securely. He then checks the nozzle with a gloved finger to make sure it's free from any contamination before spraying. For ArmorGuard, you can also use a finer nozzle, such as a 1.2 millimeters tip, to achieve a finer, smoother finish where required. Now that the ArmorGuard base coat has been applied, our instructor checks the finish and gives it a thumbs up. He then proceeds to roll the remaining half of the countertop, allowing you to clearly compare the sprayed and rolled finishes side by side. This gives you a better understanding of the final appearance and texture achieved with each application method, helping you choose what works best for your setup. Now that your ArmorGuard base coat is applied, you'll need to allow it to dry fully before continuing. Drying times can vary, but typically take up to an hour or more, depending on temperature and airflow. To speed up the process, you'll see our instructor using an infrared light, which can reduce the cure time to around 20 minutes. Always ensure the surface is fully dry to the touch before moving on to the next stage. We now move on to the decorative granite fleck layer. You can begin applying the Infinity Spray Granite Decorative Fleck Coat, a one-part, water-based coating made using acrylic binders and real granite particles. When preparing the product, avoid shaking or aggressive mixing, as this can damage the granite particles and affect their natural color and finish during application. This product should be applied using an HVLP spray system or at very low pressure, as high pressure can over-atomize the material, resulting in a finish that is too fine. As shown, the instructor is using a spray shield to help prevent overspray onto surrounding areas. In this demonstration, a semi-cast application is being used. Depending on your desired finish, you can also apply a full cast or a light mist coat. For more detailed guidance, speak to your local Infinity Effects representative. Once applied, this coating typically takes over an hour to dry, depending on temperature and airflow. Using infrared heat lamps can reduce this drying time to around 20 minutes. Once fully dry, you're ready for the next stage. Once the Infinity Spray Granite coating is fully dry, you'll see the instructor checking the surface by hand to ensure all particles are fully dry and properly adhered. He then moves on to an optional step, sanding. Using high-grade 1000 grit sandpaper, he lightly sands the surface to knock down high spots and create a more even, refined finish. If you're aiming for a textured look, this step can be skipped. Once sanded, the instructor blows off and wipes down the surface to remove dust. He then carries out an optional degrease using Fusion Adhesion Promoter, applied in a small amount with a rag or spray bottle and wiped evenly across the surface. Now, ready for the next stage. Your next and final stage in this light traffic DIY system is applying the final clear coat of ArmorGuard, available in gloss, satin, or matte finishes. As before, the instructor follows the same process, straining both Part A and Part B separately through a 190 micron sieve to remove any contamination, and then mixing before application. This step provides the final protection and desired finish to the surface. With the 3M Performance Spray Gun assembled and the compressor set to 2 to 2.5 bar, the instructor puts on his mask and begins spraying. He applies the coating in smooth, even, controlled passes, ensuring consistent coverage to achieve the final finish layer. Now that the final clear coat has been applied, the instructor repeats the process on the remaining half by rolling out the ArmorGuard top coat. This allows you to compare both methods side by side, sprayed versus rolled, highlighting the differences in finish, texture, and overall appearance. This helps you choose the best method based on your equipment, experience, and desired result. Now your countertop is finished, you'll need to allow it to dry fully. Drying can be sped up using infrared heat lamps, along with good temperature and airflow. As demonstrated, infrared lamps can reduce drying time to approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Once the system is complete, we recommend leaving it for 12 to 24 hours before placing any items back onto the surface, allowing it to cure properly. For best long-term performance, keep the surface protected for up to 7 days before putting it into full use. As always, thank you for watching this Infinity Effects video tutorial. We look forward to exploring the possibilities together. Before completing your project, please take note of the following terms and conditions. This version of the system is a DIY-grade application, designed for light traffic environments only, and should not be considered a replacement for a professional-grade system. The only Infinity Effects warranty that applies to this system is our 100% color lock guarantee, which covers color stability only. No wear or durability warranty is provided under this DIY application. Please note, professional system warranties, work order sheets, and certified installer guarantees do not apply to this system. For projects requiring maximum durability and wear resistance, we strongly recommend installing our professional resin-based system, where available. By using this system, you acknowledge and accept these conditions. Thank you for choosing Infinity Effects.